the ability to play with the psychology of an entire country. This goes beyond just sort of programming advertisement toward a certain group.
We are a behavior change agency.
So this is an arms race.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure and a privilege to speak to you about the evolution taking place in marketing and communications, particularly in conjunction with some of the work that we contributed to Donald Trump's presidential campaign.
So you describe what you built as is called a psychological warfare weapon, something you say Steve Bannon wanted, the ability to play with the psychology of an entire country.
The targeting options that are available for advertisers are generally things that are based on what people share.
This is actually a method that Silicon Valley pioneered in order to sell us products. But now, the enemies of democracy are using this very method to sell us fear and hate and vanity.
Today we can use big data to understand exactly what messages each specific group within a target audience need to hear. Your demographics, your geographics, your media consumption, your consumer and lifestyle attributes will influence the way that you see the world. As important, or possibly more important, is personality or psychographics.
They cannot create these feelings out of nothing. So they get to know our own pre-existing weaknesses and then use them against us.
In order to change politics, you first have to change culture, because politics is downstream from culture. In order to fight a culture war, you need an arsenal of information weapons.
In America, we can undertake hyperlocal television by local cable provider, which allows you to target very, very specifically.
Steve came to SCL because what we worked on was data harvesting programs where we would pull data from users of apps and all of their friend networks and run that data through algorithms that could profile their personality traits and other psychological attributes to exploit mental vulnerabilities that our algorithms showed that they had.
Because it is personality that informs decision making, and clearly your decisions will drive the way that you vote. Big data is really the aggregation of as many data points that you can possibly get your hands on. So we can take all these data and synthesize them into one database of record and use this to build complex but very powerful models about the audiences we're seeking to engage with.
Are there any clients you would refuse to work for?
I'm sure there are, but we try not to get ourselves into a position where we have to say no.
But clearly someone who likes to grab women by the pussy is absolutely all right.
Well, I can't comment on that.
If it's really true that you helped Trump get into office, are you happy?
I'm happy with the job that we did.
Trinidad, this is a great, interesting case history of how we look at problems. There are two main political parties, one for the blacks and one for the Indians. And, they screw each other.
Obviously, working on a political campaign by its very nature is divisive.
So we were working for the Indians. We went to the client and we said we want to target the youth, and we try and increase apathy.
Factual data, demographic data such as age, gender, ethnicity, religion and so forth. Attitudinal data, what car you drive, what magazines you read, what social media you engage with.
The campaign had to be non-political because the kids don't care about politics. It had to be reactive because they're lazy.
And of course, behavioral or personality data, an understanding of your world view.
So we came up with this campaign, which was all about be part of the gang, do something cool, be part of a movement. And it was called the Do So campaign. It means I'm not going to vote.
If somebody can manipulate your emotions effectively, democracy will become an emotional puppet show.
As long as they're free and fair elections and democracy is being upheld, we think it's the duty of our firm to provide candidates with the best possible service and fair representation. That's the only way you can have fair elections.
It was carnage. We knew that when it came to voting, all the Afro-Caribbean kids wouldn't vote, but all the Indian kids would do what their parents told them to do, which is to go out and vote.
They hack our feelings of fear, and hate and vanity, and then use these feelings to polarize and destroy democracy from within.
Thank God for the guidance that has brought us here to this victory. Thank you.
We now undertake 10 national campaigns for Prime Minister or President each year. Malaysia we're working in.
Lithuania, Romania, Kenya,
and
Ghana.
So quite a few this year.
Nigeria.
Brexit campaign. Oh, and the Brexit campaign, yeah. We don't talk about that.
Oops, we won.
I don't think it's for people sitting in other countries to cast their opinions on the self-determination of the United States.
And it is therefore the responsibility of all of us to get to know our weaknesses and make sure that they do not become a weapon in the hands of the enemies of democracy.